Good evening. My name is Melissa Dean. I am the Assistant Manager of Recruiting and Outreach within the College of Engineering at LSU. We are excited that you're here today to learn more about our Biological Engineering department on campus. With me today is Samit Libby. He's one of our instructors within the department. And then we have Gabrielle Kirkhow, who is a current student in the College of Engineering in Biological Engineering. So they are here today to share super helpful information for you before the semester begins. If you have any questions you would like to have answered during this event, please use the chat function to list your questions, and we'll be sure to have those covered today. So with that, Samit, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to being the LSU Tigers. And I'm here to give you a little bit rundown, a little bit intro about the Biological and Agricultural Engineering department. I have been with the department since 2017 as an instructor. I got my master's from the same department. So I have a master's in Biological and Agricultural Engineering. From the picture, you can see that it's not in the PFT hall, our PFT building. We are a little bit smaller department. We come between two departments, one College of Engineering and LSU Ag Center. That's why we are kind of in between up to two places, like it's between the PFT hall and towards the Ag Center building. We are smaller department compared to other engineering department, but being a smaller department, we have some good things to share with you, good things we can talk about our department as well, like how we fit in the engineering and what do we do. So in our department, we have 15 faculty members, teaching and research wise. So always the students will have access to faculty, like you will be taking courses with each of the faculty member once in your whole career or whole time as the undergrad. So you will get to know your faculty members. You will get to talk about like your courses, and if you want any suggestions or if you want any guidelines on what you want to do, you can talk with the faculty members. You can talk with the professors about it. So let me talk more about the department, like what we actually do and what we are. Okay, so what is a biological engineering and what do you do with the biological engineering degree? So the biological engineering is the application of engineering principles that you do in the field of biological systems, like you apply the engineering principles to solve any problems that are associated with biological systems. So you can, it's related to analyzing and solving the problems related to plant, animal, human systems, or any biological environment. And you will be designing some process, or you are designing some machines, equipments to solve those problems. In the biological and in agricultural engineering, or in our department, if I have to make it as like what kind of courses you will take, here is a breakdown. Since it is an interdisciplinary course, it's the mixture of engineering courses, biology courses, and there are some other general education courses as well. So the general education course is anything like arts, humanities, social sciences that you will take. You have general science courses over here, which is like around 35% of your course. You can add some more course of biology or chemistry, depending upon what you want to do in future or what you find more interesting. Then you have biological engineering core courses, like which is related to our department. You have engineering core courses. Those are the courses that you will take from other engineering departments, or like from civil engineering, like dynamics, statics, anything related to the engineering core courses. And you have design elective courses. Those are something that you will take based on your interest on like where you want to go with your degree. So the biological engineering has different branches that you can go through, and these are the few things that we do in our department where you can go through. So we go towards biomedical engineering, environmental engineering, process engineering, biomechanical engineering. We have course related to that, and there are certain educational outreach program, and we have our student organization as well, and we'll talk about that. Gabby is going to talk about that. But before that, I'm going to go through each of those aspects, like what each of these field represents, and what we are, or what kind of opportunities you have in those fields. So the first one being the biomedical engineering. It's the one where you apply your engineering principles towards the biomedical field, or like towards the healthcare purposes. You are designing something related to the medicine or the healthcare. The courses that we have are related to tissue engineering, regenerative medicine, molecular engineering, and there is some courses that is like design elective courses related to nanoparticle targeted delivery. So you apply the engineering principles towards the medicine over here. Now, if you want to go to med school and you want to work on a lab, or you have to get the lab experience, you can get through here. We have some faculty member who are working in the tissue engineering, or we have the lab that is focused more towards the tissue engineering, cells, molecular engineering, and you can get those experience. And being in a smaller department, you have that opportunity that you can get involved in the research experience early. You can be in those lab as you are interested, like you want to go towards the medical field, and you want to get hands-on experience with the engineering lab, or you want to get the hands-on experience with the lab settings. You get the chance of that. You get to work with the faculty members, you get to work with the grad students towards that, and get those experience. Second, we have some courses that will guide you towards the environmental engineering, bioenvironmental engineering, where you are learning more about engineering to reduce and to solve the environmental problems or environmental crisis. So we have one of the lab which is focused on biofuel, bioenergy, like making the extraction or making biodiesel from algae. We have courses that are related to water resources, precision agriculture, precision mapping, and smart sensing. So we have courses that would be helpful if you want to go towards the bioenvironmental field. We also have courses that is related to bioprocess engineering. And in this field, you are applying the engineering principles to design or to develop equipment and process for development of new materials, like any polymers, any bioproducts, agricultural products, pharmaceuticals. So anything like that in the biological materials, you would be working in the bioprocessing engineering. Closer to the chemical engineering aspect as well. So here we have courses, and we have faculty members who are working on food process, nanoparticle system, aquaculture, aquaponics. So if you have certain interest on that, if you want to take certain courses on that, we have certain courses related to that as well. We have course that is related to biomechanical engineering, where you are using the mechanical engineering principles in the biological systems again. Like you are looking at if you are looking at the mechanics of biological materials, this would be something over here. We have faculty member who is interested in the bone fracture analysis, mechanical analysis of the bones. We have certain groups that work in prosthetic pressure sensor. We had students who wanted to go to the prosthetic schools, and we have one course that is related to biomechanics. And again, in the design electives, you can take certain courses that would be helpful towards getting towards this aspect. Besides this, we also do certain educational outreach programs, and this is based on the idea of giving back to the community. So we have a service learning projects, which is included within your course work. Like your first semester, you would be in a course that would be designing a playground. And this is like a service learning project where you would be using your knowledge, where you will be designing and implementing your ideas on developing a playground. And then we have La House Resource Center and Extension Disaster Education Network. So these are two different outreach programs which are based on using the research knowledge for considering sustainable housing and providing energy efficient housing. And Extension Disaster Education Program is a research-based program that would be using the knowledge to reduce the impact of disasters. So also we have our student organization, which is BISO, which would be like the student organization for biological engineers. After I conclude on this presentation, I will let Gabby talk about it. And those are the general information about the biological engineering. I would like to share a small flow chart which shows what kind of courses when you are taking those courses as well. But before that, this is the contact information. Like if you want to know more about our department, you can contact me or you can contact Nick. He is our undergraduate advisor for like undergraduate program. So you can contact him or you can contact me for more information. And we would glad to help you with any questions you have. I would like to share one more thing with you. Let's see. Okay, this is the flow chart showing what kind of courses and where you would be taking certain kind of courses in the biological engineering department, which is like you going from left to right, shows you what kind of general courses you are taking, and once you are going to your senior year or your junior and senior year, what courses you are taking. So your first year, which is fall 1 and spring 2, you would be taking the general courses like chemistry, biology, one biological engineering course, so to get you started. Then as you move on, you'll see some courses that are like more engineering core courses like statics, strength, electric, that would be that's circuit course from the electrical engineering. So you are taking certain courses from different engineering department. Then as you move on like to your senior or junior and senior year, you are taking certain design elective courses, and you also have a senior design course that you have to do for the biological engineering. So this is a general idea about like if you are just doing the biological engineering, this is the general flow chart. This is on our departmental website as well that you can go through and look into. And that's it. Like those are the information that I have from my side about the department. And I would like to hand over to Gabby to talk more about the BISO house, and she's a senior student in our department, like she's in her senior year. So I'll let her introduce herself and talk about the department. Stop this.
All right, thank you, Sumit. So yes, so I'm a senior in biological engineering. I am the president. Last year, I was the president for the Biological Engineering Student Organization, also known as BISO. And I have to say, the reason why I chose to do BE to begin with as an incoming freshman was because I loved science, I was good at math, and I really wanted something that would be more critical thinking. And with all of the labs and the classes that we do, there's always an aspect that's going to interest different types of students. And so this really interested me, and as well as you do communication, like distinguished communicator classes as well. So you can do a little bit more and get like the certificate at the end, which basically says that, and they kind of help you every step of the way. The professors explaining like all the things that you can do with BE, which is amazing. And with BISO specifically, I joined when I was a freshman and have been involved every single year, either as an outreach chair, member at large, or even the president this past year. And it forms a community. Most people, when they're in bioengineering, even though it's an engineering group like bioengineering, we're smaller and it's a community. We help each other. And in the long run, this is what helps you do well in your classes, get to know faculty members, and even upperclassmen. As far as I'm concerned, we're the only engineering group that has our own lounge. And I know we won't probably be able to have access to this next semester. It's a great place to do homework and help each other study, meet new people, and to do well in engineering. I think this is a big factor, having a sense of community and being able to be there for each other. So yeah, and with bioengineering student organization, BISO, it basically helps you figure out what you can do with your degree. So you have, as Sumit says, different levels, like you can do biomechanical, biomedical, bioprocessing, and the professors are really into helping you kind of figure out, like, this class will help you to do this later on. And with your senior design, I just did my senior design. It was something kind of biomechanical, biomedical, and I had ample help from even past students, faculty members, TAs, which is great. And I'm not sure if every engineering capstone senior design project is like that, but being in BE really gave me the tools that I needed to try something new and to ask for help when I needed it and to take risks. You do a little bit of everything in all of the labs, and they're very interesting. So, yeah. Also, at the end of the year, BISO does a crawfish boil, which is super fun. Hopefully they'll do it this year as well. But
Okay, students, any questions for Samit or Gabrielle about the semester or about classes to take? If you have any questions about your fall semester courses or what to plan to register for the spring semester, this is the time to ask them. If you want to, you can either do it through chat or you can get on a microphone even if you want. This is a really good question. We always get questions about laptops, suggestions, whether PC or Mac, tablet or not, all those things. Gabby, how about you talk about your preference, and then I will put the link to our specs website that has all that information for y'all too.
yeah, so for me, throughout my 4 years, I got an HP laptop, and it worked perfectly. I had zero trouble. I just did my senior design project, and we had to do a lot of it remotely because we weren't allowed to be on campus, and we have Tigerware and all these things, and I had zero problems. Even if you have a MacBook, you're gonna have some issues with labs just because softwares are going to be a little bit different and tricky. But from my experience, from what I've noticed, is that the professors and TAs are really good at helping you figure out like how you're going to have to adjust. So I think either one will be fine if you want to do a Mac or PC. Personally, I have an HP and it was amazing for me.
I did put the link to our webpage on the engineering website for recommended computer specs, so you can access that as well. I have student workers. I have about like 12 student workers, and they vary from Microsoft Surfaces to Macs to Dells still exist. So I had a Dell, the thick Dell, and it lasted all my years of college without giving me the blue screen of death. So I'm kind of pro PC over here, but I do have Mac and Apple stuff, so I do like that too. But for college, like, it doesn't matter. Just look at the specs and find whatever is good for you.
Yeah, on that one, I would like to add something on that one. Like, so you would be using different softwares for your projects, or you would be using some different programs or programming language based on which courses you take. And then, so you have to look on that one, so that like with the Mac, there is an issue that some of the programs are not compatible, right? So you have to think about that too. But MacBook are more like they would last longer than PC in certain cases as well. So you have pros and cons on both sides. But what you have to look over here is like, there are some softwares that you have to learn, and you have to look into that website with the specs, like what is asked for, and you want to try to get something closer to that. That would be the suggestion I would give.
Great. Okay, another question we have, best way to get involved in research as early as possible.
Okay, so for that one, like we are solely, as we have faculty members who come from like partly from Ag Center and also are part of College of Engineering. So our faculty members are more like research focused. So it depends on what kind of what work you want to do. Like what's your main focus is on, like what kind of experience you want to get. We have students who get involved in the research from their freshman year as well, and it depends on your interest, how motivated you are, like what you want to do, what you want to learn from the lab. So those are the few things that you have to think about. Like you want to go to a medical field and you want to get some lab experience with like tissue engineering or tissue cultures or cell cultures, or you want to go to a lab that is focused more on the biofuels, like you are like what is your goal. We have students who have been starting the research work from their freshman year. We also have students who join during their like mid of their sophomore year. So it all depends on your interest. Like and so the faculty member would also look at your resume, like what you have done so far, or why you are interested in it. So one thing of having a smaller department is like you can go and talk with the faculty member, like after looking at their research project, and say, hey, I'm interested on this, I have worked on these things, and I really think I would be someone who can work on your lab, or I would be a good assets to your lab. You can, like talk with the faculty member and say that why you are interested, what your interest is, what you want to do, and then you can get into the lab in that way.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions, students?
Yeah, it can be for me or it can be for Gabby. We can answer any questions that you have, like if it is specific for the courses, or it is specific for any activities, or like how the labs are conducted, or anything that you have your questions about.
Great.
I'd like to add also, LSU and especially the BE department gives you so many opportunities, and it's really on your initiative to want to be engaged, because I know many people, like, they're very into just studying, doing their work, and they can make great GPAs and do fine. I know some people that are very interested in doing grad school and want to do a lot of research and other things like this, volunteer opportunities in the community with classes. Like, our professors and faculty members are so welcoming. If you really like a professor and their class that they're teaching, I would recommend Googling their names with the LSU website and just seeing what type of research they're doing, because it's also important to find a professor that fits for you as well. And it's all about your initiative. If right away you want to do research, I would go up and just talk to a faculty member or professor that you appreciate and that you enjoy, and talk to them as well.
Awesome. Any other last questions, students, before we wrap up? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again, Samit and Gabby, for being with us today. So I'm gonna share my email address if any of you have questions for me, and then I'll put that in the chat as well. My email address is mhart3 so if y'all have any questions about the next month or anything coming up, please don't hesitate to let me know. That is why I'm here. And then Samit's email is slib, right?
SLIBI2@LSU.
Yes, SLIBI2@lsu.edu. And then what is BSO's email address?
It's bisoeng@gmail. I can type it in. Thank you.
So y'all have all the resources you need to reach out if you have any specific questions. Again, thank y'all so much for joining. Y'all are free to go. And as always, go engineering and go Tigers.